Okay, this is the second video to explain a little bit of RuneScape 3. Little things that I forgot to mention was instead of pressing the escape to exit to lobby or log out, you can actually click this little button right here. If you see it up here in this little corner, you click that, it says exit to lobby or log out. Another thing is when locking the screen, you can either go through here, go to the interface settings, and then lock the interface right there. Or, if you actually go down here, this little locking right here, you click that, and it locks it. Okay, what I want to focus on today is the abilities and the ability bar. Here's your ability bar down here. Did not mention it last go around because I wanted to go into a depth of it here. Here's where your abilities are. You have 5 settings. Here's where the settings are. Mine says number 5 right there. And these arrows, you can toggle through it. 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. Now, if you click the number, it automatically goes to 1 right here. You can set each of these up however you want. So you can have a skilling tab, you can have ability tabs, or if you want to just negate all this and go with momentum, that's fine too. I'll explain momentum here in a little bit. Now, mine right here, I have it set up where one's mage, one's with two hands, 2 swords. Another one's, there's 2 swords. This is 2-handers. Oops, I keep clicking the wrong place. Here's my dungeoneering tab right here. This is what I use for dungeoneering. And then I have range right here. Now, if you see this, I have the alchemy right here. I'll get to that in 1 second. That's to deal with the skill and all that. And with RuneScape 3, they offered this right here, which is what you can put for your backpacks. Now, if you look over here on my backpack, you'll see a red box right here and a blue box right here. Those correlate to these 2 right here. So if you're doing something and you want to, have something in your backpack, if you want to do it for a shark, let's say you're fighting, you can click here. It said inventory B, and it marks it right there. So anytime I click X, I will eat. If not, you can move it to anything else. I have these set up. These are just automatically set up. It doesn't matter. You can set up any way, however is more comfortable for you. Now, the great thing about this is if you put your mouse right over here, it says drop empty pot. Now, this is what's good about the ability. You see the X. Now, if I press X, it's going to drop all the empty pots right there. See? Gone. Now, see, it's empty right there, so I can put anything I want to right there. Now, another thing that's good for is bringing in spells. Now, where your spell book is if you look right here, these are where your abilities are. And here's your open magic abilities. That's going to open up a tab. Just where the little hat is, these are your abilities. Put your mouse over, it says abilities. These are your abilities. Here's your spells. Here's your teleports. And here's your skilling spells. Now, how I move this over here is I clicked this and dragged it over into the ability bar. See, if I actually move it to right here, it'll double it. If I want to get rid of it, I can click that and grab it, and you see the little trash can right there? Put it to the trash can, it deletes it. You can do that with anything. If you want to do prayers, you go back over here, go up here to the prayer ability, click that, and here's your prayers. If I want a protect item, I just drag the protect item down there and drop it in there. And it's right there. You want to get rid of it, throw it in the trash can. Now, with the mage especially, let's say you're doing a bunch of alching, and remember the old way of clicking and then clicking here, and it'll alch it. I clicked out of there on purpose. But now, since I have this in the ability bar and I have it on the equal sign, if I press equal, it automatically high levels, and all I have to do is go over to where I want it out and alch it. And instead of going back to the spell book, press equal again, and out. Much faster way to out. You can do that with a lot of different things. You can drop things, you can use things. You can just play around with it and find out what you can and can't do. It goes really good for fishing if you need to drop fish, stuff like that. If you put that on there, it'll drop all the fish. Okay, and what I'm going to talk about now is the actual combating. Now, obviously, you see a lot of my armor here in my backpack. I have Armadillo right here, I have Bandos, and I have some Aaron's robes for mage. You notice I have 2 crossbows, a bow and arrow, 2 swords, a god sword, and I have a 2-hander staff. Now, there are a staff and orbs you can take that will be 2-handers for you as well. Now, if you put your mouse over the weapons, it'll say accuracy 1694, magic speed average, and give you the level. Same thing with the crystal boat. Crystal boat lets you see damage 1286, accuracy 1486. That means the maximum damage it'll do is 1286. If you look over here, chaotic crossbows 1924 and 1924. Those add up together. If you had them, you can wield them together. It has to be offhanded and regular. You have your god sword. I have a chaotic rapier, and I have the enhanced Excalibur. That'll go into the shield here. You can do a shield if you want to. That's fine. There's abilities for it. I particularly don't use it, but each totally up to you. Now, when you armor up, you want to be near a bank or in a bank chest. I think it's near a bank chest now. So when you armor up, each of these armors are going to give you life points. So if you put your mouse over it, it says Bandotastic, damage 16, armor 285, life bonus 1080. Now, if you go down here back to this ability bar, which I told you at, you have over here, you have your hit points, you have your prayer. This is your adrenaline. You'll use that with killing and with your abilities. And then here you have your familiar options. If you had a familiar out, you can right click that and it'll give you all your options. Here is the your hit points or your life points. Right now mine is 3960. So if I put on a Bandos task, it's going to give me an extra 1080. If you watch it, it went accordingly. Now I'm at 540. So I put on my Bandos top, it automatically heals me as long as I'm in the bank. So if I go ahead and armor up, now if you look at my life points, I've got a lot more life points now. And then I can also wield stuff. That doesn't give you any extra bonus, but you're wielding it. And here's the Zo Ring. The Zo Ring gives you a little bit of armor and extra critical hit. Now, you can't see my armor on there because of the Solomon stuff. You obviously know that. But I'm going to go and fight, and I'm going to show you the different abilities. Now, like I said, I have my abilities set up here. You know, range, melee, and magic. Now, you can use what's called momentum. Momentum, you go down here to this right here. You click the heart and the shield. Then you have the defense and the constitution. Momentum is this little thing right here. If I click that, lightning will shoot down. Now, it says momentum is now active. And if you see right here, here's my buffs and rebuffs right here. We were talking about that on how to move that. This will let you know if momentum is on. If momentum is on, it'll show up right here. Now, if I were to do a different spell, let's say I was going to, let's see here. There you go. Sap Spirit drains enemies' adrenaline. Well, you showed it up, it showed up right there. It shows that I have that active. It does that for anything. Now, if I'm fighting an enemy that does damage to me, that makes my defense lower or whatever that is, it'll show up down here as well. That's the buffs and rebuffs that lets you know what's going on. Now, adrenaline will stay on permanently until you click another ability. And the ability can be anything. So let's go over here and let's go to the magic abilities. The one that I can do right now is Surge. Surge, if you read it, says instantly teleports you up to 10 meters in a straight line ahead. Well, that's good if you're going into the wild and you need to get away from somebody really quick. But remember, I have momentum on. So if I click that, I surge ahead. See how far it surged ahead? And it says, momentum is no longer active. Well, if that happens, you have to wait for you to go back to normal stance. Move over to the heart and shield. Move over to the heart. And click momentum. Now, if you want to put that in your bar, you absolutely can. If you can see right here, I have momentum right there. So if I would just press the equal, it would have done the same thing. Now, I'm going to go try to find something. I'm going to fight on momentum, and then I will do another video to show you how to fight with momentum. But I want to actually show you the difference in monsters and how to find their weaknesses. I'm down here at Taverley. Let's go over here. You have a skeleton level 22. Now if you want to find out what he's weak against, put your mouse over him and you see that he's weak to, looks like he's weak to earth spells. Now you see I killed him really easy with my melee. It's really easy to kill him because he's a very low level. When you're dealing with higher levels, you're going to want to change attacks. And that way you mage these creatures. If you're having a hard time, you mage it. So let's go through over here. Let's go to bats. Bats is over here. Put your mouse over them. Looks like they're weak to range. Well, luckily in my backpack I do have range. So if I want to switch to range, but if you look, it actually shows a crossbow. If he'll be still enough, it actually shows a crossbow, but he's weak to all range. So you can have a bow and arrow, and it'll still kill him. It'll still kill him fast. But you noticed, I don't have to click any abilities. My character automatically cycles through abilities, so I never have to do anything. I can just click and wait like the old one, old style RuneScape. Okay, what I know will actually take me a while to fight some blue dragons, so I'm going to go over to blue dragons. I do know that blue dragons are weak to range. Here we go. Now you can see I already have a super anti-fire, so I'm just going to go ahead and drink that so that it doesn't hit me. You look over, it says they're weak to, looks like bolts, but he'll still die pretty quickly if I do the range. And you notice I automatically do abilities. And if you look over here, it shows him what his buffs and weaknesses of what I've done to him. See, I killed him pretty easy. Now if I were to switch over to melee, go to attack one. It'll take me a little longer to kill him because he's not weak to melee. But he still dies pretty quickly. It's just pretty much up to you. You have to experiment. But that's pretty much how you find the weaknesses. If they're weak to mage and you're slaying, then you might want to switch to mage because you'll kill them a lot quicker and your slayer tasks will go a lot faster. If you leave momentum on, then you're okay. You're good. I will focus on the rest of the abilities, on how to use the abilities on the next video.